Hey YouTube, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it today. Today we're going to be doing a story time, and this story time is basically going to be centered around the mental health diagnosis of PTSD. So I went and took the liberty of researching the definition for each of my diagnoses, because I have it already on file, but I didn't feel like going to go get the actual paperwork. I just said I'm gonna just go and use Google definition. So psychological disorders and definitions. So the first disorder that I was diagnosed with was bipolar disorder 1, and it says a mental illness characterized by extreme mood swings, including manic episodes and depressive episodes. And then in there I put manic episodes are periods of elevated or irritable mood that last at least a week or requires someone might feel very happy, irritable, or up and have a significant increase in activity. And then my other diagnosis that I have, the bugs. And then my other diagnosis that I have is PTSD. And PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder. And it is a mental health condition that develops after experiencing or witnessing a traumatic event, such as a natural disaster, war, violent crime, or personal assault. And I also went and took the liberty of looking up PTSD symptoms. And it says it usually manifests in 4 categories. And it says re-experiencing through intrusive thoughts, flashbacks, nightmares, or girl, what is that? Yeah, because I got a notebook. I think I put physiological reactions when reminded of the trauma, and then avoiding thoughts, feelings, activities, or situations related to the trauma. Negative changes in cognition and mood, changes in beliefs, guilt, shame, difficulty concentrating. That's the bad one that I have. And loss of interest in activities. That's another one that I have. Hyperarousal, increased alertness, increased alertness, irritability, difficulty sleeping, and exaggerated startled responses. Okay, look like I wrote something on the back. Okay, all right. Says risk factors of PTSD, and it says factors that increase the risk of developing PTSD include severity of the trauma, witnessing violence or death, personal or family history of mental health problems, and lack of social support. Effective treatments for PTSD include psychotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, eye movement desensitization and processing, EDMR. That's the one that somebody suggested for me and my sister Tay to take, actually. And other therapies can help individuals process the trauma and manage symptoms. Medications, antidepressants, and anti-anxiety medications can help alleviate symptoms such as nightmares and flashbacks. Support groups, that is not true. That's not true at all, because Depakote did not do that for me. It actually made it worse. Support groups, connecting with others who have experienced similar traumas can provide support and understanding. Additional information, PTSD is a condition affecting about 7% of the population. Women are more likely to develop PTSD than men. Okay, so now that we have a better understanding of my diagnosis, and we're going to get into how my PTSD diagnosis triggered me to go into a psychosis based on a very traumatic event that took place on my son's 3rd birthday, which was a shootout. And the what they call it, alleged victims, they ain't no victims. The orchestrators of this shootout was Deion Shelton, Jaheim Cunningham, and Ashante Stinson. And Ashante Stinson is my little sister. We are 6 years apart. And Deion Shelton is her baby father. And Jaheim Cunningham is the nigga that she was fucking. Oh, Lord, forgive my language. Jaheim Cunningham was the guy that she was having a, not even an affair, but it was kind of like a teenage love affair, because she was saying something about he was the guy that she had a crush on when she was a kid, and she always liked him. Blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck. But, yes. So, them three, we finna get into how they drove me into a psychosis, amongst other things that took place after the shootout, and things that were already piling up on me psychologically and mentally before the shootout. But we just gonna start with the shootout. So how it started, I had to take some notes because this is a very long story, because this whole crazy macabre thingy between Tay Tay and Deion started in January of 2025, but it came to a head in June of 2025. So that's a big old ant. So that is 6 months of information that I'm about to try to break down in at least 3 parts, because I'm not doing no more than 3. We just not doing it. But yes. So how it started was my sister Ashante found out that her baby daddy Deion was trying to cheat on her with a guy, and the guy just so happened to live in our mother's apartment. Now, I'm just gonna throw myself under the bus because I'm a real nigga. The reason why Tay Tay even speculated that he was cheating on her was because me and Deion worked together at a job, and it was this one day I had went in the break room to go put my phone on the charger, and Deion's phone was in the break room on the charger, and I knew it was his phone because it was my nephew as his screensaver, so I know it's his phone. And as I'm looking for a socket, which just so happened to be the one that his phone is plugged into, I'm coming over there plugging my phone up under the wall and sitting it on the table next to his, and I see his notifications going off, and it's a Tinder notification. And when I just happened to it was a guy name. It was not a girl name. It was a straight guy name. And my suspicions started tingling, because unfortunately my sister baby daddy has a bad habit of cheating on her. And instead of my sister having self-respect and walking away from the situation, she just kept taking it because she felt like that's what love was. And I'm like, well, if that's love, then what am I doing here? But that's neither here nor there. Let's focus on them. So yeah, I just so happened to do I seen a little song, and I said and so I ain't say nothing until I did say something. And when I did say something, it was to my sister Ashante, and I basically told her, like, look, I'm not trying to be messy. And I told her this. I said, I am not trying to be messy. I said, I'm not. I said, however, one thing about it and 2 things for sure, you are my sister and I am your keeper. And I know that your baby daddy has a history of cheating on you. And I already know that you told me that you think he bisexual, because multiple people, including his other baby mama, have came to you and told you that he has some history with guys. And because you are already aware of this, I'm not doing this as a means to try to say I hire your nigga or nothing like that. It's just more so like, I want you to be safe. If you are aware that your man is doing this, okay, cool. But the safe way to go about this is make him get tested, you get tested. Because do you know that this even in his phone? And then I had to come back to that realization. And she was like, no. And I said, well, let me just show you what I saw on his phone so you won't think I'm just making up shit, because I did take a picture of it. So yes, I showed my sister what I took a picture of on her baby daddy phone in case he deleted the notification or whatever the case, because niggas lie all the time. My baby daddy lie. Do I love him? Yes. But he ain't got to that extreme where her baby daddy is at. And I hope we ain't never got to go to that point, because, baby, I promise you, I am not the 1, the 2, the 3, the 5, the 6, the 8. Baby, get your shit together or get the fuck out my face. And excuse my language, but I just do not play shit like that. Because women have a bad habit of tolerating way more things than men would ever even sit down and consider dealing with in terms of a woman. And so I feel like I'm not finna let my sister be in a situation where she just a fucking green light, all access. And it was just like, even if you are aware that your nigga do this, do you know he doing it right now? And that's more so what it was. Because they was talking about moving to New York and stuff and getting married. So I was confused. And that's just me being real. But anyways, yes, I had to throw myself in there too, because I did feel like when I sat down and reflected on this situation, I said, well, is it my fault that it got to this point because I told her what I saw on his phone? But then I'm like, Shanteria, at the end of the day, that's your little sister. And you have a right to care about her because he already gave her STD before. So respectfully, you don't owe nobody no loyalty. And to be honest, you don't even owe her loyalty, because she ain't never been loyal to you. She chose this nigga over you. So the fact that you even stepping out on a limb to tell her some shit like this, knowing that she don't never listen when y'all be telling her the stuff that he be doing, because she just want to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear, because if this isn't love and what it is, I don't fucking know, because she be fucking dreaming. Anyways, yes, I had to really sit with myself and have a conversation with myself and try to figure out if I was at fault for why they ended up at this point. And I feel like to a degree, yes and no, because respectfully, I did something that I was supposed to do as a big sister, which was look out for my little sister. And secondly, I do feel like she may have used what I told her as a means to get her revenge without any remorse. And that is the part that I don't have no control over. I have no control over how another person chooses to react to information. So yeah, that's how it started. Then Ashante decided she wanted to marry him and move to New York. So yeah, even after I told her that, she was just like, oh, I already know he bisexual or whatever, so I'm not really tripping on that, so I'm not gonna say nothing. And she did not say nothing. She didn't. So that's why I was like, I thought everything was all good. So yes, after the gay revelations, my sister still decided that she wanted to marry her baby daddy and move to New York. And I said, okay, if you with it, then I'm with it. So, somewhere, because on the paper I put, then she decided she wanted to get her lick back. So yes, she went from, I'm okay with him being gay, I don't care, I already know, to I'm still going to marry him, we're still going to go to New York. And when I mean this man went and got a ring, a real fat nice one, like if I could just get in my other iPhone, bro, I could show y'all the picture of the ring. The ring was so freaking fat. Like, anyways, she went from I want to marry him to I want to get my lick back. And it was all happening so fast. So when I told her what I saw on her baby daddy phone, this was at the end of January 2025. When they were supposed to be getting married, it was February, beginning of March 2025. And my birthday is in March, and her baby daddy birthday in March. He a Pisces, I'm a Pisces, Aries. And his birthday like March the 14th or something like that. My birthday is March the 29th. So I remember this very vividly because I was like going through heartbreak with Jonathan, and Ashante was like moving on up, I guess. And I was just really taking it all in. as a learning lesson in life. And so I remember the marriage conversation came after the gay revelations, and that was February and March. Now, if I'm being honest with you, I feel like me being on my bad behavior kind of turned Tay up, and she decided she didn't want to be a wife to him. She felt like she wanted to get a new man, and I feel like the reason why she may have flipped the switch like that is because of me, because I went from being heartbroken over Jonathan to this other nigga is taking me on a trip to Vegas for my 28th birthday. And she saw how he was sending me money for my clothes and my outfits, and he bought the ticket. He paid for everything. I didn't pay for nothing. And my sister, I think her witnessing that in 4K, because I'm telling y'all, I went from being heartbroken, like crying and just trying to work out every day and journaling and trying to meditate and really just like lock in with myself to avoid thinking about that dude. My sister saw that, and she was trying to encourage me while I was going through that, because she knew I really liked him. And he was coming over my sister's apartment and hanging out with us and like chilling, all that, doing our ones and twos, rendezvous, all that. So it was like she saw how I went from being madly in love with this nigga and wanted to marry him, be his wife, have his kids, to accepting that this nigga do not like me for real, and he just fucking me because he don't got nothing else to fuck on, and I just need to move on. And when she saw me go from oh my god to what the fuck am I crying over, to I got a whole nother list of niggas that's waiting for a chance that this nigga just got, that he can't even do much with me or for me, and I went to Vegas. Like, I literally broke up with this nigga like the week of my birthday, and like a week after my birthday I was being flew out to Vegas going to a Glorilla concert. So I feel like my sister watching me go through that and watching me make that transition so fucking quick, it made her be like, hold on, I want to do that. And I really do feel like she went from that, because she would come to me and tell me her and her baby daddy arguments that they was getting into, because mind you, in between all of this, they was arguing every day, sometimes tussling. Sometimes I had to call the police because I was scared, because this nigga had a gun in the house, and it got to a point where he even started talking about he was gonna shoot himself, and she telling him kill yourself. So yes, that is very alarming to be in the middle of. Yes, very much so. So it was just up from day one. From the time I moved in with my sister to the time I left, it was just hell and hot water. And I was praying my ass off every day, because I knew that day was crazy, and I knew that baby daddy had a death wish, because he kept saying he wanted to die. And that is not something to take lightly. And I just thank God that I'm even here to even sit right here and tell this story. And I feel like it's a really good story, because there's so many lessons within that experience that I had. So many things I learned about myself, so many things I learned about the people around me, and how they view life, and how they take life seriously, if they even take life seriously, and how they condone certain things that I could never put up with in my own place of being. And it just made me have a lot of reflection, a lot of epiphanies, a lot of coming to realization moments. And yeah, so I don't want to get too ahead of the story, because baby, I will be all over the place. So let me get back to my notes. So yes, she decided she wanted to marry him, and they wanted to move to New York. And then she decided she wanted to get her lick back. So she told Dion she didn't want to marry him, asked him to move back in with his mother. And that's when the rickroll really started. Now, her asking Dion to move back in with his mama came after I came back from Vegas, which was like in April, middle of April. That's when this whole part started right here. When I tell you that boy did not want to move out, like he did not want to move out, and his family, his mama and stuff did not want him to move back in, because his sister and her husband and their kids had took over his mama house. So The mama had like a 4-5 bedroom house, but the sister, her husband, and their children, and then I think it was like one other sibling that stayed there too. So it was a full house. They did not want Dion to come back because then they didn't want to have to readjust their living space to accommodate him when he could just stay with his baby mama, who been putting up with his stuff for all this time, 7 years. So what is we talking about? Like, that's how they seen it. And so what they did was they started like buying groceries, sending it to the house, buying baby diapers, sending it to the house, sending Dion money, stuff like that, as a means to try to like calm down the situation that they had going on. But they didn't understand that Tay was not playing this time. And so she was not backing down, and it became an argument every day because Dion wanted Tay to care about his feelings, and she did not care at all. Like, she didn't give a fuck. She didn't care at all. And when I tell you, it got to a point where they was like having a screaming match early in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, like they ignoring the children. Like, my nephew Jay Bari would literally go knock on the door and be like, "Mommy, Daddy, I peed on myself," and they would tell him to go back in his room because they're arguing at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they supposed to be getting him ready for school. And so here I am filling in a gap where they cannot, because Dion is trying to fight for a relationship that Ashante does not want. And it got so bad to the point where Tay was bold. She was bold. I remember one day Dion's little sister came over to the house, and it's a side story within the story, Lord bless my heart. But it goes into how much she really just DGAF. She just didn't at all. So it was one time she brought Dion's little sister over there, and she brought her over there. And every time the girl come over there, they be drinking their wine and smoking their Black and Milds and smoking their, green. And we be having girl talk and stuff because I was sleeping in the living room. And so Tay always wanted to hang out with me in the living room. And, the sister did too, because they just want to tell me stuff and see what I thought about it, because I was older than both of them. And this was something that always happened when Dion's sister would come over. But this particular time when Dion's sister came over, Tay was on the BS. And she was like, oh, and mind you, I think I had, if this was April, I was working at Get Fruity Cafe. And I'm getting off work late at night, so I just so happened to come in the house one day, and her and the girl, the little sister, is sitting on the couch, and they drinking their wine, smoking their Black and Milds, listening to music, vibing. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Hey girl, we chilling, eating some food, da-da-da-da. And, my sister Tay this day had bought me some food. And, no, the sister bought me some food. She bought me some Popeyes. I remember this. She bought me some Popeyes. And we were just sitting in there vibing with them. And we went from talking about the girl, Dion's sister, boyfriend, and their relationship to they about to move in and stuff. Just girl talk. And then Tay started talking about, oh, your brother talking about he want to get married, this and that. But I feel like it's time for me to get my lick back. And she said it just like that. And we both just looked at her. And I didn't say nothing. I wanted to see what she was going to say, because that's your brother. I don't got nothing to do with nothing. I am an innocent bystander, and I'm just living here until it's time for me to start school. And so I was not finna put 2 cents in that. So I just waited for the girl to say something. And she just looked at Tay and she was like, that's what you want to do? And Tay was like, yeah, I feel like I done took a lot of stuff from Dion. And at this point, I just feel like I don't want to be with him. But I know I can't get rid of him because we got kids together. So I just feel like I should just do somebody new. Excuse me? Do somebody new? And I looked at her again. And I said, Tay, you confusing me. I said, because you just went from, oh, I don't care if he trying to cheat on me and da-da-da-da-da, to we still gonna get married, we gonna move to New York, to now I want to cheat on him. I said, Tay, you don't even know what you want to do. I said, maybe you just need to sit with yourself. You need to sit on that for a minute. And that's literally all I said, because, girl, don't come in here with this. Don't come in here with that. Don't come in here with that, because now you confusing me. Don't confuse me, because you put me in the middle of something that I don't even care about. And the only reason why I'm even paying attention to it is because my nieces and my nephews is in this house. And so it's like, and then I'm just observing you as a little sister. Like, this is what you grew up to amount to? As a mother of 5 children, this is where your head is at. Getting your lick back on a man that you chose to stay in a relationship with longer than you should have, for the sake of trying to prove a point to your siblings and your mother. Like, let's be 100 right now. Like, let's keep it a buck right now. You sat in that relationship. That boy gave you STDs. That boy was beating on you. That boy was cheating on you. That boy was leaving you while you was in the delivery room to have the baby by yourself. And you stayed. Every assault, every disrespectful act, every salt on the injury, you did not care. And it sounds like it's raining. So I'm finna go run in the house. Bye.